I had started Boston Collegiate Charter School in 1998 with a colleague of mine, Susan Fortin, from graduate school. And at the time, there weren't that many charters around the country. Massachusetts was one of the early states to adopt the charter school law. In fact, I went to Massachusetts because I thought there was no way a charter school law would ever come to New York City or New York State anytime soon. I started Boston Collegiate, and when I was there, I met John King and Evan Ruddle, who were in the early years of starting Roxbury Prep. I met Doug Lemov as well, who was in the early years of starting Academy of Pacific Rim. And while speaking at a conference at Columbia University, Norman Atkins, who was the co-founder of North Star Academy with Jamie Verrilli, came up to me and said that he had liked a number of things I had said, and can he come visit, and I should come visit North Star. And so there was just a bunch of us who had started charter schools in the late 90s, working individually. I had never heard of KIPP. There was no such thing as a charter management organization, and we really just operated our schools independently for a number of years. After a couple of years, when our waiting lists were getting longer and longer, and we realized that we weren't able to offer a spot to all the families who wanted to come to our school, and because of some early academic success as well, we started to think that, boy, would it be great to be able to open up more schools, because there were too many families on the waiting list. And what always stuck with us was the family who applied, who was at home, who might receive a phone call or a letter in the mail, and they would open it up, and they were really jazzed up to get into our school because we were offering another choice. And they open their letter and they see that there are 168th on the waiting list or 423rd on the waiting list. And what always drove us was that moment when the parent thought to themselves, what am I going to do? I don't want to send them necessarily to the local school. This was the option I was hoping for. And if we only opened one single school or a high school on top of our middle school, we still wouldn't meet the demand that's out there for parents who live in urban areas who are looking for a great option. And so Norman Atkins actually was the one who started to ask all of us whether or not we wanted to work together. All of us wanted to expand, but we saw what it was like to open up one school, and the idea of doing that same thing again was a little overwhelming. And it was Norman's idea to say, what if you open up schools, and Brett, what if you open up schools in New York City? And John, what if you open up elementary schools there as well? And Doug lives upstate, and he was interested in opening up schools where he was. And Julie Jackson and Norman and Jamie Verrilli and Paul Bambrick from North Star Academy wanted to build more North Star Academies. And it was his idea to say, let's form Uncommon Schools, a nonprofit charter management organization that is going to take the same mission that each of us had been operating under since 1997, 1998, and 1999, which was to create great schools that close the achievement gap and prepare low-income students for college. So even though North Star Academy, our first school, opened up in 1997, we really came together in 2004, 2005 to build the current version of Uncommon Schools. And we started then with 5 schools with about 500 students. Again, that was beyond the one school in 1997. And now as of next year, we'll be operating 49 schools, serving 16,000 students in 6 cities.